I like sitting in my chair in the evening and thinking about the meditations I have the chance to share with you. I just came back from a weekend about Helen Keller and about being love, being honest, and being useful. And I felt very delighted and inspired by our time together. I learned that Helen Keller, before she knew words, the famous water at the pump moment, before she knew that things could be named and understood and explored, she only had emotions. But when she realized that this thing it was called water that was flowing onto her hands and her face, and that she could drink it, and it was a thing and a real thing with a name, she started to have thoughts and how important that was to her as she spoke of it. And then later in her life, really as a teenager, she came across a book of Emanuel Swedenborg's writings and had another huge aha, and it expanded her life so much more. She realized that she had a whole spiritual life that she could live and have an impact and effect on others in her life. She wasn't just bound to the body that was blind and deaf, but her whole mind and spirit were alive and real and huge. And she went on to make a huge difference in so many people's lives, spoke against racism and poverty, and can we just work on these human conditions? And particularly a new way of thinking about how she experienced that was how growth and change and expansion and learning something new was the goal, was the name of the game. It was life. She embraced change and growth. And I can say for myself, sometimes I really don't embrace change and growth. But now I'm re-inspired to think about how she did that. And it's a wonderful way to think about her and think about us and our lives. And may we and I continue to see my blocks to growth and bravely face them with God's support and forge forward to give the gifts I'm meant to give here and maybe forever in eternity too. And so I ask you, what are your gifts? What are the gifts you give, the ones you know about, and the ones that sparkle quietly, internally? You're just becoming aware of them and are learning how important they are to you, to developing yourself as a unique angel. I invite you to take a moment now, create a little incubation time and a small daily prayer to be open to God's leadings, which are always available for discerning the path ahead. Make some time right now. As I close my eyes, you're welcome to close your eyes and thank the divine for flowing in and being available always to support and encourage us all on our paths, our unique paths that sometimes are shared with others, and sometimes we get that deep insight of, this is a gift I can give to myself and others in the world. Take a moment to think about those things. Thank the Lord every day for my life, and try to start my day with the prayer, Lord, what would you have me do today to serve you and serve others. The prayer I learned as a child and into adulthood is also a quote from the Word. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Blessings.